Hello, 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 hello. How's that for a little bait and switch? Ha ha! Ha ha ha! I'm a tiny criminal doing tiny little crimes on the YouTube. No. Welcome everybody. I know, right? Of all the things you thought you would see today, this wasn't one of them. But here we are. So you may as well just buckle in and hang out for a little bit, everybody. Eliza, don't you start now. Don't you start causing trouble. I'll say hello to you while you're here. Hello, Eliza, despite your birthday wishes. Hello. Crime Insanity. Hello, lovely. Good to see you, despite the fact you're disappointed to see me. Adele. Hello. Despite the fact you're also disappointed to see me. May Hazel. Hello, lovely. How you doing? See, you're nice to me. You're just calling me names. Ashley, hello, love. Hello. We Scottish. Hello. Lisa Jones. Hello. Lorton girl. Hello, lovely. Look, Lisa's making sure I give everybody their full title. Look, I'm exhausted. You're very lucky you're even getting what sounds like words coming out of my mouth at this point. So it's just going to devolve really quickly into me going, pretty much like normal, really. So yeah. It's good to see everybody. How are you all doing? I hope you are all having a good day. Or if you're not having a good day, I hope you kick it in the ass tomorrow, whatever you need to do. Light alive. Hello, lovely. How are you doing? Hello. And yes, like you can all beat me up after the stream. It's fine. But yeah, this is going to be the temporary stopgap to the entire situation for a little while. Because our favorite tiny South Africans are without power most of the time at the moment. It's going to make it a wee bit difficult for them to do live streams and stuff. I just realized my sound is really fucking low, so hold on. If I deafen you in a second, I apologize. So just giving you a few seconds if you're listening on earbuds and headphones, all the things. Enter name here. Do you want your camera on or off? Enter name here. Give me a little thumbs up if you're okay. I can't tell you the gesture that I just got on the camera. That's just look. If you only knew the abuse that I take on a daily basis. So, without further ado, hello, Stella. Hello, lovely. Look at what we've got here, everybody.
And the gesture I gave her was this. Don't let her talk shit.
That's what she's telling you all anyway. Oh, yes, Adele, you've moved. How is it all going? How is it going? I'm glad.
Adele,
I'm
You,
sure you don't know where you are 1 minute to the next at the minute, but I'm glad that you're out.
you lucky, lucky, lucky lady. And hello, everybody else. I just got a surprise message saying, "Do you have power?" Was like, yes, until 11. Why? Guess what? Here's a linky link. I'm taking over your channel.
That's exactly how that happened. That's entirely. And if you believe that, you believe anything. But yes.
So, hello, everybody. Everybody, everybody.
And as you can see, the tiny Africans have got slightly dodgy signal compared to normal even. It's, you know, look, the fact that you can see them at all is kind of amazing, really. So we're just working with what we've got here for a little bit, folks.
Facts.
Griffey's in a very good mood. The politicians in South Africa are making amazing decisions right now that are just cheering everyone up immensely. It's making what is an already
Oh,
dire situation so much better.
oh, yes. Considering things aren't bad enough already. Right. Then the president got cornered because of a Russian boat that was in our military harbor in December. Then claimed to, I don't know anything about that. I'll have to put an inquiry into it.
It just turned up. We didn't know. We didn't know how it got there.
Griffey answer, bullshit. Okay, let's see how this plays out now, shall we? Now, then they were trying very, very hard to pull the wool over the US's eyes, and the
Yes.
UK for that matter.
Yes, yes, it got very interesting there for a little bit.
And now the latest news is, guess what, folks? The load shedding is going to be getting worse, and your lives are going to become more fucked up than what they were previously because South Africa is now completely thrown in with the Russians. The Russians? Are you fucking kidding me?
I know, it's almost like they think, well, everything wasn't shitty enough. Let's go back to that whole Cold War, let's attack everyone situation that was happening in the 80s. That seemed like a great fun time. Let's just join in a war for no apparent feckin' reason whatsoever. Let's just join in. That
I
seems like
mean,
a great idea.
you see, the point that gets me best, we is not the fact that our food prices are going up. It's not the fact that our load shedding is getting worse. It's the
Right?
fact that they have now completely fucked this country.
Yeah. I was telling
Complete.
him a little bit about it yesterday. While you were sleeping, I was doing a little bit of this is what's happening with the tiny Africans. Because it's crazy. Crazy. Um it's going to get rocky for a little bit. But
Yeah.
that's kind of why we have this whole hostile takeover situation. I thought, well, look at the politicians. They're doing such an amazing job. Can I really do much worse? Can I really?
You're not Russian, are you?
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny. I mean, vodka is made out of potatoes, so there's that. Um, I mean, that's pretty much if in YouTube terms, that is proof of all the things.
Yeah.
They would have me in jail immediately.
Well, before we hatch a plan on how to
Get you the
abscond
fuck out of there.
six tiny Africans on a secret UFO to get the fuck out of here. um, Let me just explain mine Stella's absence. for the last 2 months.
Brace yourselves, everybody. It involves all sorts of sexual themes, all sorts of swear words. It's all going to get wild in a minute. Look,
Okay,
the,
we
what?
know that she also knows she's talking shit right now. We've been struggling. Things have been going bad. They've been going shit. Extremely shit. But instead of hopping onto YouTube telling everybody how bad it's going with me and how bad it's going with Stella and how we're struggling this way, that way, or the other, point one, I chose not to, and then it got to the point where I was unable to get online even if I wanted to. So, yes, the last 2 months we've been doing everything we possibly could to keep the tiny African children alive and going to school and fed and all the yummy stuff and things. So we apologize deeply for not being here because it does suck immensely considering we hit our 1,000 mark. We hit the 1,000 subs thanks to a lot of you guys. And all we needed was the extra watch hours in order to monetize. But at the end of the day, it's a situation of what does it help because I can't be streaming. So yeah, luckily we jumped in there and absconded all my login details in order to stream for me.
My cunning
So
plan. It has been years in the making. I could have done this at any other given time. But I decided to wait till now, till there was feckles she could do about it, and then I was like, "Ha ha! This is my moment."
and she knows there is another 55 minutes that I can actually have something to say about it, and then you'll see me going.
So if you've any interesting things to tell Griffey, you can tell her now. There's be shitles you can do about it in a few minutes.
True. But I gotta say, the little bits and bobs that I've been seeing and hearing about has been very interesting. So your awesome antics and stuff and things, and the reply to that. Oh wait, to Soup. Thank you very much.
To
You
all
did.
of you, we love all of you. You guys have no idea. Somebody asked a wee second ago, what can we do to help? There's some things, there's a whole lot of different things. We're going to get there. But one of the main things is by just being here, by just giving a shit, by just
Yeah.
checking in. And so many of you guys have been doing that to check if Griffey and Stella were okay. And while they may not have been around to see it every day, it means the world to anybody when people realize that you're not around for a little bit and not by choice. So that's a big help. That in itself is a big help. And number
Very
two,
much.
our friends. Our friends have got us through a whole lot of things. Just as we try to stick up for other people, it, it this place can be crazy for a lot of time, but then some people do your thing without you having to ask, without you having to beg, without you needing a team of people to send shit anywhere, and it's amazing. So thank you. We love you all very much.
Very, very much.
Carry on, Griffey.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying a bit earlier, I just wanted to say thank you to Soup specifically for doing that little calling out of the hypocrisy and all that stuff, because she did what I would have really desperately would have wanted to, but unable to. So yes. Thank you for that, Soup. And also, I caught a little bit something that Six Up Media did regarding Stevie Nicks, which
Right, hold on. For anybody who hasn't seen, if you haven't seen Circle Jerks community post or Soup's community post, go and check that out. There's some interesting things there. You'll see. One of them would be actually three individuals getting their entire arse handed to them on a plate. It's beautiful. I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, blow snot bubbles, choke. I didn't know what was happening. I'm just like, huh? What? Huh? Huh? Go on, girl. All of the things. All of the things.
yeah.
But yes, my name was mentioned in the same time space as Stevie Nicks and Pantera.
And Pantera.
Who'd have fucking thunk it?
Which was why I was so tempted, and that was one thing I could successfully do. I got the link to Stevie Nicks, the age of 17. The age of 17, I posted that and it was like, to my friend we froze the Ewok. Because I know for a fact that even sitting in the arse end of the world, in a country that has just handed its own ass over to Russia, thanks to our awesome government, I at least know who Stevie Nicks is.
Right. And what's the other little part of that, Griffey? Why would you post that particular song of all of the things? What do you know? Why would you post that song?
Because I know that that particular song is both one of your and one of my all-time favorites.
Hey! I loved it whenever the one who shall not be named, the one that colours in all the pain pics, that person, whenever, because we don't mention her over here, we do all the things elsewhere. But whenever she said, I don't know those bands, whenever she said Stevie Nicks and Pantera, and I'm like, all right, Granny, calm yourself. I mean, they've only been around for what, fucking 40, 50 years?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, Stevie Nicks is only, what, 72 now?
No, Lordy. I didn't, I was just like, oh.
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 Oh. Oh, no.
What in the name of Billy Ray Cyrus is even happening here? Because
Oh, wait, they listen to country. What in the name of Dolly Parton's going on here?
do not sully the beautiful Dolly with the tragedy that happens on that channel, because she is not responsible for that mess. But yes, for every single one of you, for all sorts of reasons that I can't even begin to explain, because I get, despite my smart talking mouth, I do get totes emotion. um,
That's the most.
she can turn, she can totes emotion, and so thank you very much. That's why I gave that wee speech a wee minute. Soup drove that entire point home through their front garden, over the top of the house, into the next county. She was like, beep beep, motherfuckers, beep beep. And I was, oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Very much so.
Ah, dear.
And I think your new lingo is like totes adorbs. Yes, I'm surrounded by teenagers. Going to
That
tell.
and totes my goats. That's my favorite. I don't really like. I honestly don't really like the rest of them. I use them in a usually a very sarcastic manner, uh, to offset anything else. But totes my goats is one of the funniest because, well, you've heard me. I mention goats kind of often, and that was before the goats ever appeared on the YouTubes. So
The
I'm like, see,
scapegoat.
all this time, I've known the goats were going to have their moment. I've known my soul knew that the goats were going to do all the things. But yes, so I just was like, huh? Huh? What? What? Huh?
Lorton girl, thank you. Was not required, but thank you. It it's honestly very, very appreciated. I I can't explain exactly how appreciated because otherwise I'm gonna turn into a sniveling mess that's sitting here bawling like a baby, and I don't want to be doing that. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah. She says it's not required. That would be a good word for that. Not required. Unlike a lot of other channels, we don't expect anything from either any of you apart from to be who you are. But so many of you have kept us going in so many various different ways that we see a lot of dry begging, e-begging, grifting, scamming, lying, all sorts of shady shit happening on the internet, that it means it ruins it for anybody who truly does need help or assistance, especially when it's not just a choice of not wanting to work, not wanting to do a thing, not being lazy, not just sitting at home being pilled off your head or doing whatever the heck some other people are doing, when it's an entire country that's disappearing down the tubes. And so for every one of you, thank you. But some of you really do make a massive difference. So whether it's $1, whether it's $10, any of it, it makes a humongous difference. Humongous. So she can't say it, but I can. The PayPal's at the bottom of the screen there. If you didn't see it, because that's why I'm always the one to say it, and that's why I have a Cash App, because Griffey can't have Cash App in South Africa. The plan was I set up the Cash App, and if anybody sent anything to it, it would get screenshotted and then sent to her PayPal. So if that is a thing that is easier for you until the monetization things happen, if that makes it easier, do that. Whatever. And if you can't do any of it and you can just be here, hang out, and talk some shit in the chat, we're equally grateful for that too. End of speech. Carry on, Griffey.
Very much so. So yeah. Um all I can say is thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Um just the fact that you guys care, in the sense of when we're not around and we're unable to be around due to load shedding or due to the fact that the internet is off. Um, just hearing, getting a message from Lisa Jones sporadically, or Mama, or we saying, um, this person asked about you in the chat. This person wanted to know how you guys are doing. Miss you guys, where have you been? I can't begin to tell you how much that means to us. Just hearing that. It hurts not being able to reply and say, hey, well, tell them, we'll be back and we'll be doing this and that and the other, and we're sorry for being away so long. But we try when we can. I mean, we can tell you what an absolute bugger up it's been the last 8 weeks at least. trying to just get online.
Yep. Yep. And considering I know that we also have some folk in the bushes, I'm just going to throw this out here because, unlike some people, we can be very, very accountable for all of the things. But very recently, there was some scamming, begging type drama with another creator. And some people were putting very unhelpful comments out into the world that Griffey and Stella had been part of scamming at one point. There's very few situations on the internet that I would happily stand up in court and testify to, because you never really know what other people are doing. But when I met Griffey, I knew of who she was beforehand, but the first time I sort of saw who she was on a live stream where other people were trying to pull some very unfortunate maneuvers. And how she handled herself during that stream was not to do the easy thing. It was to do the hard thing, knowing that she was about to fuck herself up, that people were going to be cross because she needed to do the right thing, not the easy thing. And since then, that's why she's my girl, yo, because she's a very, very good person. I'm not trying to make Griffey cry, I promise. But, there's a lot of shit bandying about, so let's just nip that in the bud. Take that, little glitter team, and fucking... Because that'll not go well. That'll not go well. It's not
Well,
gonna fly, yo.
considering my current predicament and the fact that I can't really just hop online and say, "Hey, guess what? I need to take the opportunities I can to tell the glitter ninjas to go fuck themselves."
What was that? What did you say there? What? What?
Hop on a broomstick and fly into your own lunar cycle.
Totes my goats.
There we go. um, yeah, there's that. And regarding those comments regarding claiming that Stella and myself had scammed. Bring me your proof. I got mine. I've showed them plenty of times. But I do find it awfully funny that the ones claiming that Stella and I were scamming oh so much were right up Benny and Lizzie and every sketchy character on YouTube you can find butthole at some point in time.
Yep.
But I'm a scammer? Right.
And here's the difference. We have our receipts because we've saw what other people are doing around this space. You've never seen Griffey take a PayPal from anybody, and even when they act the arsehole, put out their name. Never. It just has never happened. You've never ever seen that. There has been so much that Griffey and Stella could have said and would have built a very popular channel really quick. But they're good people. I know you guys see that. So that's why we're just doing this little hostile takeover for now. This is not a permanent situation. This is a temporary stopgap until the balance is rectified, because we will get there. We will. It's just going to take a little bit extra. So to answer someone, I can't remember who it was because the chat was moving and I'm very tired. Somebody said, does it help to watch the old lives? Yes, yes, it does. There's a whole weed playlist that Griffey made ages ago. It does not contain my nuds. You'll be fine. Uh, you can hit the wee playlist, let it run through if you have a handy dandy device. Because part of the problem with them being offline is that they start to lose hours after a time.
Yeah,
The hours don't remain static. So what was close at one point is now starting to get further away. So when you asked, is there anything we can do? This is part of what we can do. We can do this.
true.
Unfortunately, that means you have to listen to me, but look, you can't have everything. Come on now. Uh, shit happens, yo. Uh, so yeah,
Well, well,
it does
that's
help.
one thing. One thing you can stick to the Glitter Ninja now. You have two channels too.
Only because Circle Jerk told me to do it. We know that they control the entirety of YouTube.
Oh yeah, I forget this channel is owned and operated by Circle Jerk.
Correct, yes, yes. Um, we're only here because of Circle Jerk. We only exist. None of us ever were around anywhere before any such of a thing. So yeah, I only did it because Circle Jerks told me to do it. They made me do it. Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
see, Circle Jerk was there, um, got created, and then we and myself, we got created, and from there it has been we's job 24/7 to take over any and all channels in the name of Circle Jerk. Oh
Yep.
Lord.
Watch, watch out, Mr. Beast. I'm coming for you, yo. My tiny little furry butt's gonna take over your entire channel.
Heidi's Foya. Is that the true one or the fake one she's claiming?
See, Griffey can get away with being a wee bit spicier than usual because she's going to just leg it after a while. And yes, I'm taking over Pendar's channel as well. Hello, yes. Hi, Pendar. How you doing?
Pandora.
Anybody else? Anybody else want? Ashley, I'm taking over your channel. Anybody else? I'm just gonna multi-stream from like 87 different channels every day. God
Pandora, you
help
have everything but a crappy channel.
Well, it would only gain that title if you let me on it. So for
Don't
now,
you start.
you're safe.
I still got what 44 minutes to tell you. Oh, damn,
Bashing
my
and
clock is off.
attacking.
My list is growing. Lots of bashing reports.
Let me tell you something. When Soup was doing part, because it was just one of those things that just happened. I was like, oh, what? Huh? Oh, I deliberately didn't say anything about this to anyone. Because why?
Yeah.
uh, and then I saw that, and I was like, partly because I was blowing little happy snot bubbles of laughing and crying all at the same time. It was a whole situation. Because yes, I do have feelings. I know that's a shocker. Uh, but I know, right? I know, mind's blown. Um, but whenever Soup started speaking after the little clip, because she does a certain lady person's voice so perfectly, I thought that was still her speaking. And I was like, why are you arguing with yourself, Heidi? What are you doing?
You want to hear something funny? Stella, I was playing the thing, and Stella was like, "Is that Heidi?" I was like, "No, that's Soup." She's like, play that again.
That was me. I was like, huh? What? Huh? Did I just hear that? Oh, what? So, yes, if you haven't seen it already, head over to either Circle Jerks community post or Stinson Has the Soup, their channel, because Stinson Has the Soup is the amazing human being that did it. Followed up by my girls. It was just a whole thing, and I'm very
one
grateful
thing,
for it.
one thing I just got to say though, yes, I agree completely with Soup taking on Heidi about the fact that she was laughing so hysterically at something that was bashing somebody else's disability. But my next question is posed to identity crisis, i.e., unseen, i.e., glass house, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself this week. Um,
I prefer a squeaky dog toy, but that's
the
just my
squeaky
opinion.
dog toy could work too. Who in the fuck do you think you are? Somebody claiming to be wanting to stand up for unseen people and things that are being done to them and the injustices that are happening, but that shit is coming out of your mouth.
Again.
Excuse me. All the fuck
Well, for
away.
those who don't know, let me give you a short and abridged version because we're so going to get there on my channel. But this has sort of changed plans for a little bit. But old Squeaky Dog Toy, aka Empress Nero, aka My Three Healers, aka Unseen whatever the fuck. Uh,
Perfect.
hey. Um, she has made she made a channel, hence the unseen part, that was meant to support people who were of the transgender section of the community and their underreported crimes. Great. That didn't last a hot minute. I'm pretty sure I've worn pants for longer than the effort that was made there, but okie dokie. There have been multiple other quite well profiled cases to do with transgender people who have been subject to terrible crimes. Hasn't uttered a peep about them. Doesn't give two hoots. Zero hoots given. Zero hoots. All the hoots have left the building.
Yeah.
And then she decided to follow that up with telling a transgender creator A, how she should conduct herself, B, how she should relate to other human beings, and then C, started to make some very unfortunate comments about their stated race. None of that would be very good, I would imagine. And that's before she ever got to being obsessed about my medical issues. Look, I mean, I'm sorry for the woman and all, but God love her, she needs to get out of the house or something. I don't know. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think considering the fact that our president was kind enough to throw us to Russia right now, I think we should give the Russian president their address. We'll dox him to the Russians.
Well, let's face it, they've contacted every law enforcement department on the planet. I'm pretty sure the Russians would already have it, so we'd be all right. All to tell them that a poo a poo is making videos on YouTube. And now she's attacking the we. She attacked the poo. Now she's attacking the we. It's a whole situation. Leave our bodily functions alone. You do not have permission to interfere with my bodily fluids. You were not invited. Take yourself and leave.
So she's attacking the poo. She's attacking the we.
It's a whole
Who's gonna
situation.
be the throw up? Because that's the only other thing that can exit a body at this point.
Well, we'll talk about that another time. I think that might be a stretch too far for this stream. Look, uh, and there's other bodily fluids. Look. It could all get a bit dicey if I carry on that conversation. So,
Oh my!
right?
You
Hey,
even had Stella going. What
hey,
did she just say?
hey. But it's just craziness, utter craziness. And I'll wait till Pandar comes back before I say that other wee bit, because that'll tie into some of that. Because I know that she has seen part of something else, and it matters now. It didn't matter in a way that anybody could do anything about it at one point.
Yeah.
But there's now so much that it comes to a point where it's not about removing people from YouTube. It's not about shutting them down. It's not about taking away their voice. But we as a community do have the right to be allowed to give our opinions, just as they give their opinions on us constantly. The whole reason I made my channel is because I was sick of watching other people being dragged from one end of YouTube to the other for shit that never happened.
Yeah.
Never happened. Not just a confusion, not just a mistake, but utter fictional bullshit. That's why I'm not live every day or 48 times a day. Well, I could do, to be fair, because there is that much crazy nonsense. But, you know.
Yeah.
Little as we go along. And it makes Karen very happy. And you're getting a name check here, Karen. It makes Karen very happy whenever she sees my name pop up on the live. She loves it. It makes her week complete.
It makes her type in caps.
I know, right? She was fucking furious. I haven't been live in a month. A
I
month.
can somehow see her yelling what she's saying at her phone while she's going at it. I'm wondering if she's asking the phone to see the manager.
Wait till they find out I'm here now. The shit's gonna go sideways very quickly.
The We Hate Channel's We Hate Channel.
The We Hate Channel is breeding. She's evolving into multiple channels.
Yes.
Right, Linny? They had to go over to a whole other. Most of us have made friends with a whole lot of different people here on the YouTube. Very few of us choose to run to anyone else. Never mind a big creator to say, "Oh, they're being mean to me," and then leave out your part in the action entirely to just make it look like somebody else had done a thing, apparently for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's why I just add this in. Voluma Unstuck. A lot of people will have seen Voluma Unstuck. If you did not, most of you, God love yous, that are here now, had to listen to my lunatic arse going off yesterday. But to
For
watch
4 hours.
6 hours. 6 hours. She
Okay,
went 2 hours early. She was 2 hours early.
I
She
was
should have
just
waited.
going off of Karen's information. Tell Karen to stop spreading misinformation then.
That's why I was just like, oh, God love you. If you'd have waited a little bit, it might have made sense. But these people are trying to make a whole situation that happened at a whole other time that was rectified a long time ago
Yeah.
somehow be the reason that they're now scared or intimidated on the YouTubes, while simultaneously, take this for what you will, simultaneously contacting people's family members on Facebook, reaching out to other people's jobs, reporting them to the police, doing a whole lot of things. But somehow they're the hard done by party in this whole thing, which is not right. Not right.
Yeah.
But everything just takes a wee bit of time sometimes.
Very true.
But yeah, 4 hours I was live. Except it was 6 hours. 4 hours!
Um. Yeah, so Karen, please stop spreading misinformation. The tiny Africans that only get bits and bobs here and there, we need accurate, on the nose information, not whatever you got out of your own ass. Was that a bit too on the nose? Oops. Sorry, not sorry.
No, you shouldn't be at all. You see, this is the thing. This comes as a complete anathema to you to speak like this. But again, even take myself and Lenny. Right, how long ago? Not that long ago, realistically. Although for people on YouTube, you would think it was 400 years. It wasn't really that long ago. Feels like it sometimes.
Yeah.
Shut up, Lisa. Shut up. You're ruining. You loved every moment of it. Lenny and I, we used to be at odds. We saw the same things, but the way she would describe things would annoy me. The way I would do things would annoy her. It was a whole stupid situation. Stupid.
And I was in the middle of it, watching both sides, going tee hee.
That's what she does. That's what she does.
Hi, Minnie, hi.
I know. But I mean, I wasn't reaching out to Lenny's family. I wasn't
No.
contacting jobs. I wasn't making police reports. I wasn't doing any of that shit. And she can vouch for that fact. That's why it's hilarious to me when these people all start this other thing. And she's just one of a whole lot of people because, you know, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a mouthy cow. Moo. Uh,
An opinionated bitch.
Yeah, I'm Irish, terminally Irish. What do you want from me? Come on now. But it took a lot to even get me this far. It took me to watch people being trampled on, being lied on, having their hard earned reputations being dragged and thrown about just in order to make some quick, easy internet clout or money on YouTube. It's sick. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. They're always complaining about, like, oh, some such and such reached out to my family. Was it me? No. Was it anybody I associate with? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild. Jesse, have you
Extremely so.
forgiven me yet for telling your husband I loved him? Look, it was a whole thing. I'm sorry about it.
Oh, Jesse. You can imagine when we told us that story. Stella was like, You're leaving us for Jesse's husband?
He doesn't even know. He didn't even know.
So yeah, we could make a whole thing of that too.
I was just like, oh, good Lord. Yeah. So I love you too, Jesse. I'm sorry.
She's so not sorry, but she's sorry.
I'm a wee bit sorry. Because I meant it with good intention. It just happened in the wrong way, and I was like, oh, shit.
Mm.
So, yeah, if anybody needs me to tell their husband that I love them, you can just hit me up and it'll be fine. If you just send $17 to the PayPal there, I'll tell whoever you want. I'll tell Squeaky Dog Toy that I love her if that's what's necessary. I don't care.
No. For that, we're gonna need about 48. What was that? $47.33
That's it. You
for
have
you
to be
to tell
accurate.
Squeaky Toy you love her.
Yes. Yes. We'll get her to add a pink gaming chair to the wish list as well, because, I mean, apparently that's what people do here, and you're just like, oh, okay, cool. I'd love that for you.
A pink gaming chair.
Yeah. See, you've missed all this.
Apparently, I have because I would have knocked somebody over the fucking head asking for a pink gaming chair. Seriously?
Well, you see, they didn't technically ask for it, so they're not a scammer. Someone just gave it to them after them saying repeatedly they didn't have a chair. So they
Oh.
not a little bit like the pajamas. They didn't ask people for such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
People
And
just
blanket?
they just give these things away. People have too much money apparently and just give these people things. A bit like radiators for cars and shit that people would sell on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh.
Crazy people. And yes, Linny, she definitely does. She also has the pink hair to match. That's not a shade against pink hair. If you have pink hair, anybody in the chat, live your best life, do all the things. You didn't
Yeah.
do it in order to prove that you're something that you're not. You just did it because you wanted to do it.
Well, Lisa Jones, we most definitely will be hopping on a plane as soon as we're able to do so. But no, we'll take the back row seats because we do have 4 children that's coming along with on the ride. So it would be me, Stan, and 4 children.
Yep. The thing that Griffey doesn't realize that after yesterday, what happened was that somehow I'm now in charge of an airplane company. So I don't know how that happened, but we're here now. So we have a tea trolley, we have announcements, we have laminated safety plans, we've all the things. So
Where's Pearl? She does the best announcements.
right, yes. I was this is where I'm glad that you guys can't see me. This is why I don't put my camera on, because I was doing the hand gestures at the time of reading that out. I was literally doing the full shebang. I'm like, yes, I'm with you, Pearl. I see the whole. I'm on board with this situation.
Oh,
So yeah, we can
yeah.
just go wherever we want now. Apparently. Could get a bit dicey, but we'll get there eventually. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. We'll be grand. We'll be fine.
um, yeah. Hey there, Bumblebee Parker.
Hello to
Um,
anybody that came into chat that we didn't say hello to, because I saw a couple of names I didn't say hello to earlier, but hello to each and every one of you. We're just trying to babble things out here as quick as
yeah,
possible so that you are all. Do you want to give a
caught
little
up.
refresher there, Griffey? A little before you get cut off with your power situation for anybody
Yes.
that wasn't here earlier.
Okay, well, we can. Yeah, yeah.
The short version. The short version.
Okay. Short version is we're pretty much buggered. We're pretty much buggered in any way, shape, or form that you can possibly imagine, considering the fact that our load shedding current without power situation is getting much worse. The reason that Stella and I have not been here was due to unforeseen and electricity and financial circumstances beyond our control. So, yes, there was that. We didn't want to, even if we were able to get online to come and tell you guys about all of it, we would not want to. Because, yeah, in my opinion, if you got internet and you're sitting on the internet telling people that it's going so bad with you that you don't have a loaf of bread to eat, how do you pay your internet?
Or blood pressure medication or a pepperoni sandwich from the garage. Carry on, Griffey, carry on, carry on.
But regardless of that, we didn't want to do that, even if we could. So, yeah, that's where we've been. We're terribly sorry for it. And we will be back as soon as humanly possible. We are trying everything we can. Um, Other than that, the way you can help us out, if possible, please watch our We playlist. I have made sure to remove all the very old videos that would not count towards public watch hours. They're removed from there. So all the videos that are in the We playlist will actually count towards public watch hours. I will also attempt to upload any and all weird little stuffies that I can to add a couple of extra videos to the channel to add that to the We playlist as well for watch hours.
What she's trying to
So,
say is she's going to try and save you from me. Look,
no,
we all know that that's going to be
no,
necessary.
I'm actually going to upload all your voice notes and all your little videos
Oh,
so
God.
you can all the secret recordings of that view.
Can you imagine?
And I'm
Just
going to put them so in a strategic fashion to make it look as if you're
in
attempting
charge of
to
the internet.
take over Canada.
Yeah. Well, and they're nice people. It would be easy enough. We just go, hi, everybody, and they'd be like, oh, it's all right, come on in. And we'd have a great wee time. We'd have a great wee time. It'd be lovely.
So yes, um, as well as I'm gonna put my best attempt forward to try and get some more merch in the merch store so that that can go out as well, so that if you guys have any requests for any funny stuff, because I do know that we has given me an awful lot of funny things that I could put on shirts and stuff like that, so that is being done. It's just going slow and steady due to the electricity situation, and I can't always get online to upload the images to Teespring, and I'm still trying to set up the what's the other store? Spread shop.
Pornhub. Pornhub. That one.
If only. No, that would be for Tanga's nuts. So I haven't seen Tanga, or possibly I have, but don't tell Tanga. Her nuts are currently up for auction on Pornhub.
For just $17.33. We'll still send them to you. It'll be fine. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
We'll bring you up to date. There's a whole selection. The range of additional accessories, they were strategic at best. I was impressed by both how limber she is, creative, things that ended up in places that I never even thought they would be, but look, it happened. So yeah, if you would like those pictures, just hit up the PayPal there. Thank you.
Send your proof of payment to We Frosty Ewok. And together we'll orchestrate some printable copies for you.
We'll make a coloring book of the images.
Hey, Tanya, guess what? We're gonna make a coloring book. You're nuts.
Hello, Dragon Classy Diamond Art. Good to see you. We haven't seen you in a good wee while.
Hello.
It's good to see you. Hello.
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 So yes, that's the general plan. While the Chinese South Africans are being held hostage, and as you can see, maybe from a few people that are sort of coming in and out, a lot anybody with the financial ability to leave South Africa is already doing so.
Yeah.
I would say we're probably only even a few months away from a humanitarian aid situation. It's already that grim. So yeah, that's kind of why these things are happening. We've got to just do some things to get some other things done to be able to move on and push forward. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we are most definitely still planning on going to the US. We are trying to get that done sooner rather than later, considering recent events and what is going on in this country right now. The only thing that I would want to ask our US and UK friends is please do not um, think that Griffey and that myself and Stella are because we're South African, we're mean, nasty, and hate warmongering people like our current president has thrown us in with currently.
You can't ask that from Jesse and myself. We have been branded as international terrorists. I mean, come on now. Come on now.
Yeah, and I live in a third world terrorist country. Don't you forget that.
With pirates.
I was branded before you were
That that is very true. That is
with a
they.
PayPal that doesn't work.
That's because you're not too good at this, Griffey. Jesse and I are professionals.
Oh, which reminds me, in my downtime, I can also make intros. By the way,
She can still do things. It's just not going to be able to stream and stuff. So if you have designs that you would like to be made for merch, if you have a birthday party coming up or a special engagement and you want to do things, Griffey's your girl. Hit her up. You have the email in the about section. You can do all the things. There's still the little link tree thing that Griffey never tells you about, that if you want to be able to help out in various different ways, there's a way to be able to do all of the things.
yeah,
But primarily just by being here, and unfortunately, you're gonna you can put me on mute. My feelings won't be hurt. Just show up in the chat. Just I don't know. Give me various gestures in the chat. I'll be fine. I'll cope. But we're gonna we just need to be able to get this done for now. So for a wee while it'll be a little bit different. Not be like my channel. We're not talking about all the crazy over here. Some of the crazy will end up here, but not all of it.
I have an idea. If you want to do those hand gestures in the chat and stuff, and you're a huge fan of Wee's Giggle, What you do is you put this little icon on, and then this one, and then this, and this one, because I promise you, the combination of that's going to make her giggle.
What does it mean, though, Griffey? What does it mean? What does it mean, Griffey?
Look at what Ginger did. Yeah, see? A bunch of that'll make you giggle.
Oh, always. You always make me giggle. There's a whole
Because
yeah.
that would be the best action she's getting all week.
Me or Ginger. Hey.
Why do you think she plays such sexy music while she's live streaming?
Bow chicka wow wow. Look, I played that Bow chicka wow wow tune yesterday and we ended up with 69 in the chat. What more proof do you want that I control YouTube than that? What more can I say? The bushes were shaking, all sorts of weird things were happening. But
Yeah.
it was interesting. Interesting. Hee hee.
Well, you know I love you. And you know I love everybody else in the chat and everybody who's not in the chat. Hello, Miss Pearl. We missed you. I need you narrating that airline thing.
I could honestly have you narrate you and Soup.
Yeah, Pearl and
I could
Soup
have
can
you
narrate the
narrate
phone book.
everything. Yeah. Menus, what the messages on your phone, uh, anything. It could be anything, and I'd be like, "That's fucking hilarious." And she got my full moon, half moon,
Full moon, total eclipse.
totally
Yeah, I
clip.
know I was there for part of it when I said, turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely.
Right, bubblegum, you get where I was going. You're like, hey, I could have. You have no idea how much stuff I do not say.
Oh, yes. And then she does say it to me at a later occasion.
Yeah, Ginger occasionally Tanqueray gets a wee dose of it too, where I'm like, what?
Don't forget Lisa Jones.
Lisa Jones should get a medal for services to mankind at the moment, for just service in general. But God, she's just been doing all of the things that I am so grateful for her. So grateful. You guys have no idea. No idea. And she
Yeah.
has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, you heard
she's,
about that?
she's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. I may be dead after today.
Miss Pearl, yes, we did. We actually had a hell of a commentary about that. And multiple rounds of applause.
I can't repeat what I said earlier because again it makes me and I quote Pearl totes emosh when I speak about it, so that's why I'm trying to be flippant for now. But yes, the happiest snot bubbles you've ever seen. It was a whole situation. I'm
So, yeah.
grateful for every one of you.
Well, you can sit and chat and catch up with everybody further. Well, there's fuck all I can do to stop you. You took over my stream.
Wah-ha-ha-ha-ha.
But yeah, unfortunately, I have to switch off all appliances and stuff and things because our electricity will be going off in exactly 2 minutes.
Okay, so
So,
I'll say what I usually say to you, and before she gives her wee speech, I'll say, "Okay, Griffey, fuck off now. Bye. Love you.
bye.
Bye. Bye.
Love
Bye.
all of you guys. And thank you for being here.
We love you.
Love you.
We love you both very much. We love you too, Stella. We love you." Here, folks, did you know that Griffey and Stella were international terrorists? They're in charge of Russia, you know. It's a whole thing. A whole thing. She's gonna kill me. And right, Lisa, right? Hey! So that's kind of the situation for now. So you can look forward to seeing some very unfortunate comments elsewhere in other places because of this. But to be honest, I don't really give a stuff what they think. The weirder, the better. It'll be hilarious. So just don't don't fall for the nonsense that they're going to try to say. It's cool. We're good. We've got bigger plans, and none of them involve any glitter ninjas. None of them. It's great. Right, Pearl? And what Ginger just said there was perfect. I'm trying to still keep it flippant so that I don't, you know, blub and stuff. But there's so many of you that I'm very, very grateful for. I know I keep saying that over and over again, but I need you guys to know how much you all make a difference. We see so much fighting and so much craziness and so much silly shit that happens around here that it it does make a big difference whenever somebody else can say something or say they see the same thing that you see. I know that always makes a big deal to me. I don't need to tell you I saw a thing. As long as you saw it, you tell me you saw the thing, and I'm like, that makes me feel better about my all of my life choices. Right, Linny? It's not the best, but it's terribly on brand. It's not the best choice of outfit for the ninjas, but okay. God love yous. As Ginger would say, bless their hearts. Bless bless their hearts. And did you all know that I love Jesse's husband? I love him. It's a whole thing. And Lida, I hope that everything works out for you guys too. We know that there's like a whole movement of things we need to be able to do. Just know that other people see it. We all see a lot of things that are happening. We just need to be able to move things forward in a more useful way. There's so many times you wish that you would be able to fix things for other people, and often our hands are tied. So it's more just trying to get something that's achievable for now. I love everybody, Linny. Equal opportunities. Like Jesse, we'll talk, we'll negotiate, it'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll have an international peace treaty, it'll all be amazing. So yeah, I love whether you have husbands, wives, a budgie named Jim Bob, I don't care. I love them all. Like I said, equal opportunities, yo. Ah, dear. I was telling one of my friends about the whole me confessing my love to Jesse's husband situation, because I was like, God love me. There was me trying to remember where to put the accents on my letters, trying to make sure I got it just right, trying to make sure I got it perfect. I was so focused on doing it properly that I still screwed it up. That's what makes it all even funnier. It's just like, oh, what? How did I even get here? Pearl DeVere, I don't know whether Unseen thinks you should be in charge of some sort of workhouse, whether you should be, an ambassador for the UN. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't understand quite the standards that she has for you when the people that she chooses to befriend can't even string two words of their native language together without screwing it up on a constant basis. But maybe that's just me not understanding the thing. But yes, Pearl DeVere's a terrible person because she's not running charities and stuff. And just um behaving like the queen. I don't think a lot of people realize just quite what the royal family were up to a lot of the time, but we'll leave that there so that I don't get lost down a whole other rabbit hole. And Linny, don't lie to me. It's not platonic. I know that you're into the whole situation. I know. Don't deny it. Just embrace it. It is what it is. Rick Shagnick, hello. Unfortunately, Griffey is not currently here at the moment. So you're stuck with this second-rate replacement for the foreseeable future. But if you would like to rewind the stream, at some point you'll be able to see Griffey. No offense will be taken, but yes, for now, I'll be Griffey's temporary substitute. I mean, it's not like they try to put me under pressure or anything but jeez oh. Right, bubblegum. There are so many comments I could make. Pearl's the same all of the time. So many little clips of things that we could add to things that would be hilarious to us. But it would just be lost on the very people that we're trying to explain things to. Hence why full moon, half moon, total eclipse was a whole thing. I was just like, hell. Rick, my name is Wee Frosty Ewok. I am officially designated by some other people who are in charge of YouTube to be here and take over Griffey's channel while she cannot stream for a little bit. So that's why you're going to see me here. So you can bring your little shagging self round here anytime. We'll be happy to see you. There you go. Bubblegum, you're making life very difficult for me here because there's so much, so many things. And I can get lost in the weeds. Who's the dude? Which dude has moobs? Linny? do we need to track them down? With the movie dude? who be movie dude? But yeah, I appreciate you all. There's so many people that have said a whole lot of things recently that has kept me going. Have kept me Griffy going, kept Stella going. That means way much more than I could ever begin to tell you. We see a lot of people make false friendships on YouTube and then turn around and attack that person afterwards. And I'm very, very grateful for the fact that none of you are those people. Just saying. See? Totes a mouse, yo! You see, now I need to know what this person's name was. This is just no. Now you're going to have to make me go and watch her stream, and then she'll tell everybody I'm a stalker, and like it's going to be a whole situation. I'm with you. I'm with you there. Because I think Colleen could lay down some very, very, very funny comments. I was glad to see her around in Circles Arcs the other night. I'm glad to see her sort of out and about. That makes a good positive change. And in fact, there's a lot of people from a certain person's chat that I have seen recently elsewhere on the YouTubes. And so I'm beginning to hope that that's part of a changing in the tide that's happening there. But we'll see. Everything, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I don't think I'm ready for it, Lenny. I think we would need. Brace yourself here, Pearl. We would need to double fist a bottle of Jameson's to be able to get through that. I don't think I could. You're asking a lot of a sober Ewok to be able to struggle their way through this. You're asking a lot, man. Now, tell me this, lovely peoples, in the chat. What time is Queen OG going live? I know she's going live soon. Is she already live? Is she going live at 1:30 the hour? Oh, bubblegum, that sounds like a whole situation. I mean, who else? Stop talking way. Stop talking way. Do, 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 do. Thank you, Nessie. I was confused there for a minute because I was just like, I thought she was going to be around and now she's not. Very confused. So I'll hang on for a little bit and bend your tiny earlobes. Because what other life choices would you be making other than listening to my nonsense? I mean, why would you be doing anything else? Come on now. Come on now. Nessie made me laugh yesterday. I had paused a video and was trying to play something else at the same time. And Nessie was like, the video's paused. And I'm like, I know, Nessie. I know it's paused. I'm trying to tell you something. I'm trying to tell you a thing first. It was a whole situation. Oh, that sounds interesting, Lenny. Oh, yes, 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 Eliza. Yes, 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 yes. But, everything works out in time. Unfortunately, we have seen this all start to evolve. But okay, do your thing. We see yous over there, thirsty little peoples. God love them. What are you humming about, Jessie? Are you suggesting that maybe giving such a person their the details of other people might not be a good idea? Is that what you're saying there? Is that what you're saying? What a radical idea. Unfortunately, as we know, it takes a lot of them to be able to even comprehend basic English. I think we might have just set the goal a wee bit too high there for them, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I saw that, Lenny, repeatedly. Like a lot of things that these people say, they don't show the proof of it. They just say a whole lot of things. But as soon as anybody else says something, we're expected to produce receipts for our entire lives, uh, while they have not. Do you remember that? Without mentioning who it was, most of you will be clued in. There was a whole scamming situation that was mentioned with a whole different person, multiple live streams over weeks, months, a whole thing. No, there were no receipts, and I quote using the YouTube vernacular, there were no receipts for any of that. Just opinion. Oh, very strange to me. Very, very strange. Lenny, they wouldn't even get a gig as the cleanup crew at the end of the day. Just saying. Right, Lisa? Just avoid the purple Kool-Aid. I mean, it's pretty poisonous, to be honest. It seems to certainly spread misinformation and possibly critical illnesses, which is unfortunate. So I don't think that that's a good idea. So maybe no. No purple Kool-Aid. I'm sorry if that's your favorite. You'll have to just mix some red and blue instead. And it won't make poo, it'll make Kool-Aid. Hopefully. It may make purple poops. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, Jessie, this has been a since before you were even here, that whole situation has been going on repeatedly. And I honestly thought that some of them had hit a point where they had learned the error of their ways. And what do you know? They managed to screw even that up and couldn't even stick by their own supposedly new plan at how to behave. What a shocker, eh? What a shocker. Right, Jessie? That's an old internet tactic as well. It's crazy. People do so many things, and it's a constant situation where when they don't like somebody, suddenly somebody happens to produce dating sites and this wild scamming situation or children or any of the things where you're just like, what are you even doing, you feckin' lunatic? But that's just me. What do I know? We can't all just have gaming chairs sent to us without paying for them. We have, some of the rest of us have had to work. Some of the rest of us have to clothe our own children and grandchildren. It's all very unfortunate. It's all terrible. All terrible. And keep doing that, Jessie. There will be a lot. Keep a record of everything. Every link, every screenshot, all of it. Linny knows the drill. A lot of us that are here in this chat know how that goes down. We've all experienced it. As far as I know, Pearl, yes, she is. The best way I can explain that to you for now is a lot of us survived Tiffany Marie. The irony of said moon person somehow pulling this maneuver on people who've been through a whole lot worse. It hasn't gone unnoticed, not just by me, but that was part of what yesterday was about. There was some other people that needed to know a thing. Now they know some things. Oh yeah. She'll be alright. She's a smart cookie. I'll have to remember. I always say this and then I forget because I just haven't. Look, I'm barely functioning as a tiny furry person at the moment. Never mind a human being. But there was a whole little parody that the ship did with Savage Live Media, and Valoma was doing the role of Tiffany Marie. I'll find the little linky link and put it in my community post if anybody would like to have something feckin' hilarious to watch, because she nailed it. It was joyful. Right, bubblegum. and and Shannon being chased up and down the road by herself. That still drives me bananas. I watch that every couple of days. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. Because it's so silly but hilarious. Because it's accurate. Very accurate. Yes, bubblegum. See, we were on the same path. We were on the same path. um, that's why bubblegum will understand very much that the irony of these people somehow thinking that they're the, you know, that they're somehow in the know of YouTube, when realistically they really don't know anything. Let's face it, one of them can't even spell her own name, so there's that. God help us all. Whenever they do find out that there's a whole lot of other people, it's going to be an education. Going to be an education. Right, keep track of all the numbers, Jesse. Save them. Record it. Block it. We never got that far in my stream last night because, as you could probably all tell, I was losing the will to live at a point where I was talking and not really concentrating on what was happening. Part of the reason I had wanted to show you that stream is the second that I saw that trailer pop up for the channel. Oh, it was glorious. Glorious. Very, very on brand. Tells you all you need to know about all of the things. I love that for them. If we could all just get a little thumb emoji in the chat. We're doing our best Ernie Shell impression here. If we could get a thumb emoji, that would just make my little heart sing with joy. It's up to you whether your thumb has 4 letters in it or 5. It's up to you. But if you could just throw it, oh look, there's Nessie, several thumbs. She has a selection of thumbs. I love it. Love it. Right, bubblegum. It was beautiful. Beautiful. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I'm being deliberately creative here because there's only so much I can say here. We're trying to be smart. Trying to be smart. But that brings me to another point. While we wait for Queen OJ to come on. Can I get some input from all of you on, is there anything you would like to see happen here on this channel? Not just my nuds. Look, we all know you're gagging for it, but just contain yourselves. Contain yourselves. Is there anything that you would like to see here? The plan that I had thought about was I had thought about was that we all could, just meet up, have a wee chat about what's sort of generally happening on the YouTubes, not just the people that we were mentioning there a second ago. You know, a little bit wider of an opinion. Maybe talk about some funny stuff, hang out for a little bit, and then come back and do it another time. It'd be no deep and meaningful, really stuff. We're trying to keep it light and entertaining and easy for people to come and hang out. That it's not like my content that can get a little bit spicy. Just a little bit. Hello, Mad Feathers. Hello, lovely. Guess what, everybody? I've seen Mad Feathers in a tavern. I know a lot of you don't realize, but that's where I have seen them. I have seen them in the tavern. Yep, yep. Nobody else knew that. No one. It was a very, very much a secret situation. I don't know if any of you realized you had to actually ask permission from a whole separate YouTube channel to go wherever you want, really. But Mad Feathers is I've seen them in the tavern. Yeah. Yep. Bubblegum, you're dragging down my vibe here. I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny whether being fully clothed will be a thing. We'll see. We'll see how the mood takes us at the time. Keep that for special occasions, Bubblegum. We have to break people in, otherwise they get scared and run away. By the way, folks, did you know that I'm neither Northern Irish, nor from the UK, but I, quote, live in Northern Ireland? There you go. If anybody can figure that out, please send your answers on a postcard to, oh my good Lord, what is happening with these people at number 69 Crazy Street, YouTube land. That would be amazing. Don't worry, folks. Queen OG will hopefully be around in like 15 minutes. So you've only got 15 more minutes of me to listen to. You'll be all right. You're getting near the end of it. You're over the worst of it now. I know, Mad Feathers. Look, I didn't realize we had to ask for certificates from people. I've been here a long, long time. I didn't know permission needed to be granted from anyone, really, or once you had been in a place, that meant that you belonged to them. I mean, if we're going to do that, YouTube could get really interesting really quickly. Just saying. Just saying. Right, Lisa? The corned beef sector. Look, when I saw somebody say that the other day, that's why it resonated with my whole heart. I'm like, yep, that's where we are. Yep, yep. That fits in all of the ways. That's not what we would have chosen when we got here, but here we are. Now we're just trying to get ourselves out alive and other people out of it in one piece. Oh, Lenny, that's a whole situation. It's one of the things that there is a very, we'll not go into it now because we don't want to bore you all to tears. We'll do that a whole different day. for you a whole different day. You can look forward to it. It'll be brilliant. Uh, Especially the part of Ireland where I'm from. There's a very long and rich history that connects all of the Celtic nations and the original Vikings. Down near the south of Ireland, you would have more of a tradition of, rather than just the Vikings turning up and the Norse, as you will say, there was a point at which Irish people were taken as slaves to the Nordic countries of their various different parts. I don't think a lot of people realize that. The other part of that being that technically Irish people were the first slaves or people of forced indentured servitude that were utilized in that way in America. Look, I know, Chris, it's not my fault. I didn't do that. We're waiting on Queen OG. You can shout at her whenever she comes on. I didn't do this to you. It's her fault. But yeah, there's a whole lot of things. There's a whole rich, mad history. Like Jesse said, there's so many interesting things that are here that I think if you guys could see them, you would, it's some of it we get so used to that we don't understand, but it's cool. It's interesting. Linny, I think Jesse should, because Jesse could do a bit, I could do a bit, Jesse and I could do a bit. There's so many different things where it could be a whole little educational experience, even when it comes down to something as basic as speaking Irish. To use the common term, there's a whole thing where Jessie's accent, obviously in English, sounds even very different to mine. The way that she would pronounce a word would sound very different to the Northern Irish version of that, but especially with Irish compared to most other languages, because it's a growing language again, but because for many different reasons it had basically almost died out at one point. There are only small pockets of places really that, and they're all very different, but there's also some really cool words too that you would recognize from English that come from Irish or Scottish Gaelic as well. That would be another thing. So you have obviously the Irish Gaelic and you would have Scottish Gaelic. And then where I live, we have a whole other different hybrid language, which is called Ulster Scots, where it's a little bit Irish, a little bit Scottish, a little bit English. It's the reason I have this whole fucked up accent that I do. A whole thing. Jesse, that would be awesome. Bubblegum. It always makes me laugh that somebody else calls you Amanda Knox and various other versions of that. People always get everybody else's names mixed up. It makes me laugh a lot. So if you haven't already subbed to Jesse's channel, Jesse, drop your own link in the chat, love, please, or somebody else can do it for you. please sub up to Jessie's channel because of the interest that she has, and she's going to do it in handy dandy bites because she knows that Karen gets upset by 4-hour live streams. She's going to do it in more approachable. There's Amanda Knox. Do you see Amanda Knox in the chat? Do you see her there, everybody? Amanda Knox has entered the chat. Just saying. That's not a coinky-dink. Scuttled out of the bushes there. Just knocking her way in. If you haven't already subbed up to Jessie's channel, please do, because she's going to show you some really interesting, exciting things, and she's going to take away a lot less of your life than I would. She's going to give you in nice, pretty pictures and not spend 8.5 hours telling you the thing. Right, Linny, Alaska looks so cool. And again, it's such a different place where the entire landscape and way of life of certain people is so different that it's amazing. The landscape is amazing. I mean, it can be a hard place to live. But then again, it's a little bit like obviously the opposite of Africa in that respect, that people look at it and think, oh, it looks pretty. But there's some very real restrictions. We could do some of that too. We could take little virtual tours of the world and have little conversations about them. See, just wee chit chats, because we're going to need something. These are all going to get fed up of listening to me really quickly already. Hello, Chris Ray. How are you doing? Griffey is not currently here at the moment, so you have the temporary Griffey replacement, which would be me, wee Frosty Ewok. But Griffey was on the stream earlier. If you want to rewind, you're very welcome to do so, and we're glad to have you here. But for a little while, it'll be me for now. Just for now. For now. Right. Amanda Knox, please read the screen. Look at this terrible thing that was said about you here, Amanda Knox. Terrible, terrible things, Amanda Knox. She's gonna kill me. But she'll get to bubblegum first, so it'll be alright. She'll be exhausted by the time by the time she's done away with bubblegum, it'll be okay. Right, Lenny, there are so many cool places, and obviously, even when I was growing up, the only chance that you had of learning about these places was if you went and got a book from the library, or you saw the occasional travel TV show. Whereas now, thankfully, it's one of the better parts of having the internet, is that you can look at all the cool and interesting stuff to places that we can't just go and visit immediately. There's so many cool things to do. Right, Lenny? 24-hour sun pretty much can be the same even in some of the Nordic countries, can be very similar, where they have very, very long days comparatively, with the sunshine. It would be so weird. Excellent, Jessie. I'm looking forward to it. I'll also help to throw you in a wee bit of spicy Irish music just from time to time too, just to keep people on their toes. You know, we might as well give them a giggle. That seems to be my rule in life. Here, have some information, and now we're all going to laugh at some shit. Right? I remember watching, for the Americans that don't understand, there was we didn't have quite the selection of TV channels that even the Americans did when I was a child. So our TV choices were somewhat limited, but one of the travel shows would sometimes by accident show some of the funniest shit. And they would always just be like showing you around a lovely apartment building, and it's only 10 minutes to the beach. Everywhere, 10 minutes to the beach. Didn't matter if you were halfway up a mountain, it was 10 minutes to the beach. Pearl, she would get her pan knocked in. Up, yeah, 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 yeah. There's just some people that the zombie apocalypse is made for. That's all you can say. Bubblegum is bringing up there the trauma of any Irish female child. It doesn't matter about your physical ability. I've seen all sorts of varieties of dance that take place. None of that is relevant. The pertinent part of Irish dancing is that you wear some very hard shoes eventually that make an unfortunate clippy clop noise. You wear a dress that is, well, I say dress, that is basically the weight of a bus, because it's just covered in embroidery. Your poor mother will have either spent thousands of hours trying to do it herself, or one of your aunties would do it, or whatever. But the other part is the hair. The hair is a whole thing. And the makeup. Gotta have those rosy cheeks. I always loved the way they were like, just like myself, pale and pasty. Somebody's auntie had got carried away with the blusher and usually the mascara. They had welded your hair to your head with hairspray. Just a whole thing, a whole thing. Like, you're going to get your coupon punched. People want to punt me. Pearl, they want to punt an Ewok. What sort of human being says something like that? And go around punting things? And then they compared me to their dog? If only they realized. If only they realized. That's it, Bubblegum. I have curly hair. You always wanted straight hair. And then, of course, one time that you need curly hair because you want to have the straight hair, then it's the wrong thing. And in reverse, then the girls with the poker straight hair would want to have the curly hair. And there's a whole business level of wigs for children that is a whole situation. That's where it comes from, Annette Graf, from both here and from Holland. That's why it's there. It always makes me, have you ever seen the wee videos of people putting modern day music to either clogging or Irish dancing? Those are worth a wee giggle. Maybe show a few of those in a few days. Right, Bubblegum? Anybody who has an auntie that is in any way a good seamstress or handy with the embroidery needle, they're always worth a fortune. I know. This is it, Jessie. Riverdance was amazing in the way that it was pulled off because until then, at that particular time, Irish dancing was seen as a bit of a naff thing to do. It wasn't very cool, wasn't interesting, it certainly wasn't sexy, none of the things, none of it. Wasn't romantic in any way. It was just something your mummy or your granny wanted you to do. But after Riverdance, after Riverdance, everybody wanted to do the Irish dance, and there are some massive YouTube channels of just people Irish dancing. It's wild. Unfortunately, Michael Flatley's a bit of an arse, but there's nothing we can do there. We can only do so much. He tried his best. He just happened to be an arse as well. Um, yeah, you remember, I'll say it in the most strategic way possible, Pearl. The very stream that we were talking about in Six Up the other day, because I did go back and look the next day to try and get the clip to show someone else. Cough, 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 cough. It was mentioned then multiple times. Multiple times. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why I had started to cut it up, and then I was like, realistically, in order to make the insane somehow make sense, it would just be better if they just watched the entire thing. If they just took it all in, and God forgive me for doing that to anybody. I felt very bad. But, I'm a devil for giving people all of the information, not just the parts I want them to see. I'm like, here, learn about all of it. I think you all know that by now. Right, Pearl? God, he's so in love with himself, that man. It's kind of unfortunate. I'll tell you better than that, Amanda Knox. Yes, I also would have been regularly got a wee tap, quite a severe tap, on the head with the hairbrush if you have long hair, it's a whole thing. Um, but as you quite rightly say, way back when, that would have been seen as like, embarrassing. You're like, oh, please, mom, don't do that. Whereas now, again, there are thousands of YouTube videos of people doing the old fashioned rag curls that you're like, I remember how painful they were. And as you say, if you already have curly hair, you were taking the curl out of your hair to put a whole different curl in it because it was either not curly enough, not correctly curly, whether the curl was the wrong religion or not. Who knows? Who knows what the situation was? But yeah, yeah, the thought of doing it now, I'm like, thank God for bendy rollers because there's your poor wee head would be sore. You would end up with you couldn't even put your head on the pillow if you had to go to keep it in overnight because it would be wound so tight that you weren't too sure if an inch of your scalp was about to fall off onto the pillow if you just moved in the wrong way. All of it. All of it. The film. Pearl, it's a thing of great joy, and I'm hoping that once Jessie gets a wee bit comfortable with doing her uh stuff on her channel that we'll get to cover some of that stuff because there's a whole lot of things that if you just start showing them to people they don't understand the context, like you get a bit of it, you're very aware of a lot of it, but there are just little jewels of hilarity of where you're like, yeah, people need to see this because you'd be like, oh dear. That's unfortunate. You got carried away with yourself there, son. See, mine's the other way round, Lenny. I have a lot of hair, but it's thin hair, but it's long. So it's very Irish in that way, where it's not super tight curls. All it takes is a breeze, usually, to turn me into what can only be described as a horrific situation. Right, we has long hair. Yes, look. Sometimes, sometimes you gotta share these things. But apparently, no, I'm not even gonna say that. But yes, the spiky rollers. For a little while, I had a part-time job in a little hairdresser's that was near where I lived. It was like a wee hairdressing situation. Um, and one of my jobs was to, you know, restock the little trolleys that they had with all their little rollers on. For the ladies that they would do the perms for, so you had the spiky rollers, you had the foam rollers, you had the ones that had the little spikes on them that had like a little elastic band situation on them. You had to wash them all and take off the little papers that they would use to do permed hair, the whole thing. And yes, everything smelled like ammonia and cat piss. We're like, this is not right. My poor lungs a few years from now will be ruined because of this mess. Ruined! Ruined! You see, we all want what we don't have. People with short hair, I'm always so envious of because I'm like, that's so handy that short hair business. That looks great where you're not having to throw around ponytails and you know, uh, uh, what feels like half of a ton of hair on your head at various times. If it rains, you don't look like a wet dog. All of those things. All of it. Yes. You've been called Amanda Knox many times. You've been called Amanda Knox. I'm not Irish or British, but I live in Northern Ireland. I don't know anything. There a whole lot of other things were said. Those are just some of the funniest. That's why we'll leave it there. They were just funny to me. I was like, oh, good Lord. Good Lord. Yes, Amanda Knox. You will always be Amanda Knox. Then we have Shabubi's mum. Always. Always going to have to be Shabubi's mum. I will always have to at some point go, hey, Linny, hey. Just because it was funny. It was stupid, but it was funny. All of the things. Linny, you're not meant to be perming your nose hair. I mean, I admire you for making the effort and all, but that's just taking things a wee step too far, love. Just calm down. Just relax a little bit. So, like, I generally think I'm a success if I've managed to brush my hair and be semi-presentable, wash my face, do all that stuff. To give you the craftiest answer possible, Linny, I am genetically Irish, so make of that what you will. But my hair is dark these days. It has been for a long time. So usually when the auburn/red starts to poke through, it's battle stations a go-go with either a hairdressing appointment or some hair dye or a fucking Sharpie. You name it. If it needs to happen, it's gonna happen. It's been a long time. A long time. Don't worry, judgmental Chihuahua. I've just been here talking nonsense, and these poor people have stuck by me while I've just been chittering shit the entire time. As usual, really. Business as usual there. Lisa Jones, you got kittens? What? Lenny, I saw your little comment there elsewhere, and thank you, love. I appreciate you. I do. Um, I want kittens. Or puppies, or any of the things, really. Baby ducks, baby goats, you name it. All of the wee animals. I know, Lenny, I was just being silly. Um, it's one of the weirdest things that people would choose to put that on their head, especially the older ladies who do have the short hair, where they would be getting that done every couple of weeks. Because the stench is horrific. Uh, God help anybody who worked as a full-time hairdresser, like during the 70s, 80s, and 90s. God love them. They will have more ammonia in their system than really should ever be normal. Bubblegum, I keep wanting to do that from time to time, but then if it was just grey, my hair is. I've always had like a full. What some people know the term and some people don't, but a Malin streak. Uh, from I was a child, I've had a Malin streak. You know, a big white strip in your hair. Uh, if it was just a case of going grey, I would do it. But then there's still the bit of auburn red that flashes through that just ruins that plan entirely. So for now, it's staying dark until the red buggers off. Oh, bubblegum. I went through a whole phase as a teenager where I'll save you the full gory details for another time. But yeah, the perming lotion was a situation. Like they were telling me I was gonna look like uh Baby from Dirty Dancing. Needless to say, I just looked like an electrocuted adolescent. It was not quite the same vibe. Um, wasn't entirely their fault, but you know, they could have just maybe helped me out a wee bit. How is little Katniss doing? I remember when you got Katniss. See, this is how even we've been around for a little bit. I remember when you got a cat. Katniss. Can they do that in like a dark shade of black/purple, Linny? Um, that's the problem. The colors I want to have are never anything remotely healthy. It's all just straight poison you're slapping onto your scalp. Right, Jessie, corkscrew curls. You look like Shirley Temple on crack or something. You were just none of it was a good look. None of it. One of my graduations for university, the pictures, there was a whole Shirley Temple on crack situation happening there. Like it was very unfortunate. We all have our cross to bear. That was one of mine. There's nothing I could do. My mother had decided it was going to be a thing. And it was just easier to agree with her rather than to keep arguing about it. Yeah. Yeah. But we live and we learn. So for the next couple, I just was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that again. We're not doing that no more. No. And needless to say, those pictures have been buried. Mm. Right, Lenny, but it has to be the right shade of red. Again, what the people that we see with red hair these days is very, very different to like 20, 30 years ago. One of my very good friends in life has bright, bright red hair, and it's beautiful, stunning, natural. It's gorgeous. But to say that she got teased mercilessly during all of her school years would still be an underestimation. Which is ironic considering I come from a country of pale ginger people, but you know, it was a whole thing. Yes, ginger snap. It does. Read me life. Like, we could go in. That would be another thing that would be super cool, Jesse. We have got such a long, wild history of superstitious stuff that thankfully most other cultures don't have, because there's a whole story that comes with the Malin streak. A whole story. Well, of course, Jesse, we're all ginger. I love the fact that you're now Wednesday, by the way. I can relate. Right, some people are just look stunning with the red hair and can set it off. Then it just looks so beautiful, where the rest of us, for one reason or another, we're never happy or content with either your hair isn't straight enough, or your hair isn't curly enough, or it's not red enough, or it's not dark enough, or it's not any of the things, not long enough, not short enough, whatever it may be. And then we end up doing shit for the rest of our lives that just ruins it further, which is crazy. You're like, here, it's already screwed up. Let me screw it up even more. All I'm going to say here, Linny, is uh-huh. All of that. Mm-hmm. 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 Take from that what you will. Do not repeat it elsewhere, because those that lurk in the bushes will have a whale of a time with it. Again, with an added little Malin streak for good measure. Right, Bubblegum? I have always had that impression of Linny. Always. She gives off that vibe of where she just has confidence in. Oh, Jessie, there's a whole story to that. We'll get there in a minute. Um, um, where it's a slightly retro vibe, but unique, not old. It's interesting, and I love it. Okay, Jessie, a Malin streak is, it's one of those big white streaks that goes through your hair, basically. There's a whole set of Irish folklore that goes with the Malin streak story. that would be interesting because it covers a lot of things. And it's very common in our people because that's how we are. Lenny, I went to school with a dude who was grey before we had even reached 14. And it wasn't even grey, it was pure white. It was like that song from oh, Crash Test Dummies. Like that. Like that. Just happened within a week or two. Just boom. But again, that's why these stories and songs become a thing. And Annette, you're definitely one of our people too, genetically, because there's a joke from a comedian called Billy Connolly, where if you're Irish or Scottish genetically, that it would take you 2 weeks in order to become on holiday to go from white to, or sorry, from blue to white. It would take you the rest of the summer holidays, in his term of phrase, to go from white to red, even though we burn at the mere glimpse of sunshine. We're like vampires. We're just not made for the sun. And yet, as soon as Jesse will tell you, as soon as there's a blink of sunshine in this country, people start getting naked hella quickly. They're all running around in shorts and vest tops like lunatics. Doesn't matter if it's 4 degrees, if it's sunny, they're running around living their best life because usually it's raining. Usually. Usually. A sun allergy. We see that it is technically true. We don't have melanin in our skin, melatonin, and therefore that is why the skin burns. We are not genetically designed to be able to cope with the sun. Again, a lot of people who have either an Irish or Scottish English background are usually very deficient in vitamin D. Not because they don't go outside. We go outside. We just don't make vitamin D very well. Because our skin is on fire the second that it sees the sun. So we don't get the time to. And I am so very, very, very pale that if I wear fake tan, I just look like I'm covered in dirt. Just look dirty, and not in a good way. It's what can so I just gave up with that very quickly. I realized that, yeah, I'm just destined to be like a little ghost of a human being. I was never going to have a tan. Never. See, Lenny, that is definitely your heritage because, again, our people tend to have freckles or moles or all of the things. Um, uh, but I have tried all of it to the horror of my dermatologist. I have tried it all, and it just works out badly. So I've learned my lesson that I'm just destined to be pale forever. It is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Right, I'm not doing this to you on purpose. It is Queen OG's fault that she keeps pushing back the start time of her live stream. So I'm sorry you've all had to listen to me for so long. It's not me deciding you should stay here. I'm just taking advantage of the situation by, well, keeping you here. I'm like, well, the rest of the YouTubes is scary. Let's just chit chat. I did also mean to drop a link at one point, but I think that ship is sailed now by this point. I'm still exhausted after yesterday. But if it annoyed certain people, it was worth it. So there's that. And did you know that Ginger Snap is an absolute snack of a human being? Just saying. Just saying. Right, Bubblegum, what do you call that thing where they basically like look at your skin under, like, is it like UV light or something to see the damage or something? I can't remember the actual term right now, but they look at it to see the damage that has been caused. Um, and it's frightening whenever you look at it. You're like, well, yeah, that doesn't seem like a good idea. Thank you, Bubblegum. I appreciate you for doing that. For anybody that's still here, including anybody that happens to be taking up residency in my bush without asking for permission, click that little link there, sub up to Jesse's channel. You can tell Jesse's husband you love them as well. It will make everybody happy. Just do that. Right, Lisa, it was a whole session, not in the way that I planned. It just became what it was. And, you know, a bit like today. I'd only planned to be here for an hour, just sort of frighten you all. Give the bushes a little shake. And here we are. Still. Sorry. I'm sorry. Right, bubblegum. It's one of those things that most people, again, if you have family that work outside in the sun, whether even if you as a human being have either had a tan, any of the things, it just does horrific things to your skin. Horrific. Oddly enough, my sister takes a tan very, very well. She is the opposite way round. Because, why not just ruin my life a little further by rubbing my nose in it, the fact that you get a tan. But we've had to have so many different conversations about using SPF and why it's important. And yeah, please don't let this happen. You can still tan, you can still do all the things. You can just hopefully not feckin' cook yourself in the process. That would be great. Oh, that would be so cool, Jesse. Without poking at a whole different situation, I'll say it in the craftiest way possible. Elsewhere, cough cough, at another time. I tried to sing a song that was from the Darby O'Gill film because it's a funny little song. And it was just easy. It wasn't heavy or depressing. It's just a funny little tune. It didn't go well, but God love me, I tried. So I will need a full reenactment. It would be, and if you find any little people, it could all get wildly interesting. Right, Jesse? You with me? You with me? Good, 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 good. Yes. uh, to answer your question there, Lenny, I'm not going to put it on the screen, but might as well make them, try to learn to read if they're going to talk shit about us. It was, well, do you remember there was a stream by the moon type person where they tried to have a whole fake little conversation with aunties that was not actually what they were doing? Do you remember that? It happened during that live stream where they were saying some very unfortunate things, but one of them was how I was a dog. To be fair, it started off where somebody else had said I was like a little dog. Then it went to just I was a dog, which is okay. I love my dogs. My dogs have a very pampered life. I would be happy to come back as them in the next life if that was possible. Not as old Squeaker over there. Not, no, no. But if I could come back as my dogs, I would have a great wee time. And this other person then said they would punt me. No, no, no. I love that for them. But that's part of the reason why I played that song yesterday. I was like, I see what you've been doing. way back when, Bubblegum, a punt was basically the equivalent to £1. But now there are no more punts. Just euro. But I told somebody else about that. One of my local friends here, and they literally laughed and said the same thing. I was like, well, they do realize where we live, right? And I was like, look, these people don't know what they're doing, never mind the currency of another country. They would look, there's only so much we can expect here. Again, they can't spell their own name. What do you want? What do you want from these people? What's happening in it? Can you say it in a crafty kind of way? If you don't want to get yourself into situations, it's okay. I understand. Look, Ginger, they would try. They want to try. And they are indeed very trying people. Very, very trying. But again, these are the same people that came to the YouTubes not so long ago, somehow in thinking they have invented several phrases which have actually been around for decades, for fuck's sake, including, fuck around and find out. I'm sure certain other people would love to know that these people who want to punt me you get what I'm laying down there. I know most other people haven't a clue what I've just said because I've made it all as cryptic as so it makes sort of sense and not sense and sort of sense and not sense. But like, hello, you're used to me by now. Correct, Lenny. Lay by your dish. Lay down, dog. That's a good boy. Bad dog. All that sort of stuff. Again, it's just part of a theme. Part of a theme. But again, these are the same people that a couple of weeks ago that were talking shit about a certain person. And now want to be their friend. And yet we all know as soon as that certain person ends up in some serious trouble, they'll not be there for them. It's not a good thing. Yes, Annette, I saw this. I saw this. That part of the creator part, and then there was a whole other part to that that you may not know, or a lot of other people may not know. That yes, yes, yes. That's why these things just take time a little bit to unfold. You can't tell other people not to trust somebody. You can't tell them anything. It doesn't matter what version of receipts you have. People more often than not don't listen until it's too late. And I'll just say it in a gentle enough way to say that not just Griffey and Stella, but a few other people too. So again, everything finds its own level. Everything finds its own level. We get there eventually. I know I'm making things cryptic, but I have to keep remembering that I'm here and not there. you know, you know, you know. Right. I'm relying on you guys to tell me when Queen OG eventually does go live, because I have been checking this repeatedly. Although now it says live. Is she live? Is she? Is she? Is she live now? Is she live now? Can I release you all from the torture that I've been putting you under? She's live. Okay. If somebody in the chat could drop Queen OG's link if possible, I would really appreciate it. If you aren't already subbed to Queen OG, head on over there, have a little look-see, see if you find anything interesting, because she's a very interesting person with a whole lot of things to say, and she is hella funny. So if you haven't been there before, please head over. And if you have been over there before, fucking run. Get over there now. She's going to tell you all the things, and she's driving at the same time. So, okay, good. No, I appreciate you, Annette. I appreciate you. So yes, there, Bubblegum stuck it in the chat there. If you aren't already subbed up to all of the places, please head over there. I love you, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. And unfortunately for you guys, you'll see me sooner rather than later. But thank you. I appreciate you. Bye, Noi. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.